Hey, Eric.
How's it going, John?
I hope you had a good Christmas.
It was a fabulous Christmas.
Fabulous. All right. I
Yes.
like it.
We had a little bit of snow a few days before Christmas.
Snow,
Snow.
frozen water.
It was, we made some
It was
snowballs.
white.
It was white.
Oh, really?
We could
You got
actually
actual snow?
scoop it up. Underneath was a thick layer of ice, but we were able to scoop up some stuff off the
Okay.
top.
Okay.
We made snowball-sized snowmen.
I'm pretty sure at our place it was just freezing rain. I mean, it was like very clearly somewhere in between snow and hail.
No, we managed to get a dusting of, like I said, enough snow to kind of make a snowball or two. But it was
Okay.
ice underneath, yeah.
All right.
So,
Well, very cool. White Christmas. White.
but it had all
Yeah.
disappeared by the time Christmas rolled around because it warmed up on Sunday. But yeah, we took pictures.
Okay. All right. That's awesome.
And we stayed home that whole day because, no one knows how to drive in the snow around here or the ice, really. So we avoided
It was super,
we avoided that.
super icy. Yeah.
And then it's been equally as exciting the last few days with the wind.
Exciting is a word.
Not the best word. No, we had everywhere around us, power was out. Except there was a little pocket of our homes that managed to survive without the power going out. I don't know how we managed, but everything around us was, out. Stores, businesses, no power. Street lights,
Yeah.
completely dark, no flashy.
Well, it has been exciting, but I have managed to steal defeat from the jaws of victory with the power outage because the power is still out at my house. I'm not recording from my house at the moment. The power is still out at my house.
Oh no.
And you'll recall that I bought a generator
Yeah.
this summer.
Yeah. For
And
exactly
about a
this
month
reason.
ago, for exactly this reason. And about a month ago, we replaced the propane tank with a larger propane tank, specifically so if there was a long-term power outage,
Such as right
we
now.
would not be hosed. So I have a generator. I have a large propane tank. And they did not come back and refill that propane tank in between the time it was installed and the time, that we lost power. So when the power went off, we were like, we listen and when it only has to be off for like 1 second and the generator kicks on. And yes, I need to buy a UPS for my computer, but anyway, that's a different story. So we were like, ha ha ha, look at this. This is so awesome. We're so prepared. I had actually thought that I had propane in there. I thought that I had looked underneath the lid.
Right.
But they only put like a small amount in to sort of prime the system, and then they come back with the tank.
Right.
So that when they're moving it, it's not heavy.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't come back.
Not yet.
They didn't come back. So, yeah. I was at Suburban Propane this morning at 8:10 because they open at 8. I think the two gals in there were like, "Why is somebody walking into our office
Exactly.
so early?"
Exactly.
And,
This can't be good.
yeah. And hypothetically, they were supposed to come in. She was like, "Oh, I've got a driver that's going to be on this afternoon, and he can go and deliver fuel." And according to my wife, as of about 15 minutes ago, said fuel has not arrived.
So
She's like, I'm not sure if our fridge is feeling warm because it's actually warm or just that the whole rest of the house is so cold.
yeah.
So it's not seeming awesome for, the Kings at the moment at the home front.
Well, I hope you're on the first thing in the morning route then.
I hope so too. I don't know what to. I don't know what's going to happen. So it's a mystery. We'll find out. I'll let you next week on John's life. We'll see what happens. But yeah.
So you get anything exciting for Christmas? I'm going to keep using the word exciting until it fits.
Exciting. Well, so my wife got me a masticating juicer. That was my...
What is a masticating juicer? I understand juicer, and I understand the word masticate. That's like to chew.
Evidently.
So what is?
And we obviously haven't tried this yet. This is a for next summer present is really what this is. Although I guess hypothetically you could use it more. But like for us, we have fruit trees, and so like making apple cider, and or we generally use a KitchenAid to make like we'll put the blackberries in it to take the seeds out.
Right.
And but the KitchenAid attachment is frankly awful for this particular purpose. I've burnt through 2 of them. Anyway, trying to make blackberry jam. Anyway, so it's for processing fruit next year. That's a big one. That's a big one.
But what?
I also bought myself kind of a really big present, but that's actually like super ridiculous. But
a sawmill?
No, I bought a MAME arcade machine, like a stand-up arcade.
There you go.
So
you channel your inner teenage John there.
My inner 80s kid,
yeah.
Yes. And may if I may boast, I actually took a picture of this. I didn't send it to you, but I really didn't intend on saying this on the podcast either because it's a little over the top ridiculous. But my first game of Galaga on it, I flipped it. Well,
still got it.
Exactly. The John of 1987, 1988 is still around. Anyway, yeah, I actually had called my younger boy came over, but called the boys over, and I was like, "Hey, you got to watch this because I'm about to flip it, but you can't because if you go over 999,000, it'll like go back to 0, and then you don't get the high score. So you have to like carefully die, like spend your last people.
Oh, right before
die to a bullet, which doesn't get you any points, or die to crashing into one of them if you want to get like 200 points. So anyway." Carefully get as close as you can to a million without going over. So anyway, I'm a nerd. Okay, I started early. Anyway, but yes, I had fun for a couple of days.
Nice.
So and I got it Christmas Eve actually.
So right at the last second.
Yep.
Well, nice.
Yep. So anyway.
Nice.
How about you? Fantastic.
My big one was my wife totally surprised me. I got a Lego Van Gogh Starry Night.
Ooh.
So
your wife knows you.
Yeah, she does. And like, because I think I mentioned, before, like that's like my favorite artist, my favorite painting of all time. I created the Starry Night on one of the walls in my basement. So I'm all in on that. And this is slightly odd because Lego is not a flat painting. So it's 3-dimensional Lego Starry Night. I have not even opened it yet. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to do this. So is it like a couple of big panels that you then put the blocks on? Well, as I'm showing you with my fingers through the camera, no one on the podcast can see this. It's like a picture frame, and you build up from the picture frame out slightly. But on the ground where you have the tree and the landscape and the buildings, those are on a flat part in the front, and that's the 3D part. So the night sky is mostly 2D. It layers up a little bit to give it that depth that you can kind of feel when you look at the painting. So it does stack a little bit, but for the most part, it's a flat panel. And then the landscape in the front is the three-dimensional part. So we shall see how it goes.
Well, I'm very curious. I want to see pictures. There you go.
I'm very curious too. I think it's 2,316 pieces.
Holy
so,
heck, Eric, that is gigantic.
It's going to take me a while to put this together.
I've never bought a Lego set that big.
No, it is. It comes in a rather large box as well.
That's fantastic.
So, I'm looking forward to this. This will probably be set it on a table somewhere.
That's a multi-week.
Yeah, and just kind of, when I have a few spare moments and just want to turn my brain off, go do some Lego. So,
very good.
Anyways, that was my big Christmas gift.
That also qualifies for nerdy, my friend.
Yes, it does.
Capital N.
Yes. It's the arts half of my inner nerd. So
I love it. I'm sad that my kids are too old for us to buy a bunch of Lego sets anymore. That used to be the main big present. You know, Christmas times have passed. Oh, well. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, no, it was good. So, well, I'm glad that you didn't have any major repercussions from the Christmas storm. I know that we had another friend of ours send us a picture of burning telephone poles.
Yeah. With the transformer caught on fire or something? And
yeah.
Yikes.
I'm trying, try to be very patient and understanding of the PGE people that are like working around the clock,
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I did get an email from PGE. That's our local power company. This evening saying, we're sorry your power outage may extend through the weekend.
Oh, no.
So, we're trying not
You want
to,
your propane really bad now.
I really, really want the propane. Let me just say this was the exact situation for which we were attempting to prepare.
Yes.
And we are not prepared.
You were prepared. You were failed.
I was trying so hard this morning in the place not to be like, what the heck? You guys have had 3 weeks to deliver propane. Anyway. Serenity win?
Tomorrow, apparently.
Tomorrow. Maybe next week.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
You ready? I see you threw something in follow-up.
I did. I threw a LastPass breach situation link into follow-up. Just because we talked about this a couple weeks ago. They have confirmed both some of the methods that were used and some of the data that was taken, including, let's see. Stolen is basic customer account information. Malicious actors obtained a treasure trove of personal information belonging to its customers, including their encrypted password vaults used by data siphon from the earlier break-in. Also stolen was basic customer account information and related metadata, including company names and usernames, billing addresses, email addresses, telephone numbers, and the IP addresses from which customers were accessing the LastPass service. So although the passwords are encrypted, and it's stored in a proprietary binary format, they said that there are unencrypted data in there as well, including the website URLs.
Right.
So, it could be good information to help with like spear phishing. Or since they've got the encrypted password or the encrypted passwords, they're encrypted with the master password for your LastPass account. So the big net on this is you should have used a unique password and a long password for your password manager.
Right.
If you did not, and if the password for your password that you use to get into your password manager has been in any previous password breach, they have the actual encrypted data. They can run offline. They can run rainbow table attacks against it to see if they've anything they can do to break it. So if you are a LastPass user, and if your LastPass master password was ever in a data breach, you can check that with lots of ways these days. Actually, lots of even password managers will notify you. You need to change all your passwords if that's the case. And best practice going forward would be getting into your password manager is a password that you have to memorize. Use a set of words, use a long password that is unique and not used anywhere else.
Yep.
And monitor it. So, anyway, that was the follow up for LastPass. I'm not sure that it's done, but I don't know that we'll talk about it again. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my topic also hints at that as well. So
yeah. All right. What was this?
I pulled the article from Krebs on security. The hacked ring cams used to record swatting victims. So this is an indictment. Actually, a couple men have been charged with hacking the Ring home security cameras from people and swatting them. And swatting is calling the police and saying something, bad is happening at this house. You need to go right now. And the police go in,
right.
Armed and, in full force. So they falsely report some kind of thing going on. Police go in thinking that something really bad is happening. They can break down the door. And so what these guys were doing were they're hacking these Ring cameras and calling the police. And then not only did they do that and watch the whole thing go down from the Ring cam, they used the Ring cam audio feature to taunt the police and the victims while they were doing this. And these guys both got caught, and they've now been charged and are going to go to jail.
Good.
But how they went about doing this was they would dig into other password breaches, Yahoo accounts, etc., find those Yahoo accounts that also would respond with, yes, I have a Ring account, by either trying to register and getting that account already exists or whatever. And so then that's how they do this. So Ring found out about this, of course, as well, helped the customers who were compromised. Ring recently has made two-step verification, so two-factor auth, mandatory. So, and Ring is doing regular scans for passwords compromised in non-Ring breaches. So they're trying to harden their systems because
there you go.
for these exact reasons, someone
password reuse,
someone does that.
But I mean, that's the thing is it is hard not to reuse passwords if you have hundreds of sites. And
if you don't use a password manager like LastPass or some other one.
Or 1Password or
whatever password manager you want to use. And I know it's some people would frown upon that. If your password manager is like my dad and you have a book and you write them down in the book, that's better than using password 123 for all your websites, from banking to whatever. But one of the other
Yes.
things I pulled out of this article, which I thought was interesting, was these two guys as well had irritated other people because they'd been kind of enamored. I guess I should not be surprised, but there are not just, ransomware for hire or DDoS for hire. There is vandalism for hire and, violence for hire services. And these two guys had irritated some other people in SIM swapping groups. And there apparently was, as part of this information that came out in the trial in the court, that there was someone that they had irritated enough who, they had ripped off some other people, that they tried to hire some violence for hire services and pay in Bitcoin to go damage their house.
Yikes.
Bad guy versus bad guy. So,
Yikes.
lots of
Yikes.
high quality humans,
Individuals.
in this area. So, anyways, that was the article I saw, and in the Krebs article, there's also a link, which would be just a good reuse is password reuse, your money or your life. That kind of talks about that as well as some of these long running things to buy stuff off the dark web and reuse passwords to then send people to do bad things. So, Krebs always an interesting article. He mentions a few additional things at the end about, swatting. I know we've talked about swatting. Krebs himself has been swatted and had to, get the police to say, hey, there is nothing violent going on inside my house. You've been fooled. So, anyways,
Yeah.
there's my article. There is justice comes eventually.
Hopefully, and good.
Yeah.
Well, interestingly, my first topic, I brought two today, but my first topic is also about a data breach. Although,
I did see this one too.
I haven't seen this on any like large news sites yet, but maybe I just wasn't looking for it, or maybe I got it early on. So this is a the link I'll put in here is actually a LinkedIn post about a quote, apparently credible threat actor claiming they have the data of 400 million Twitter users and is attempting to sell it, including all of the private info that Twitter has, including your email and phone numbers. So it includes the emails and phone numbers of all of the high-profile users. Whether they use their own personal phone numbers or not is perhaps a little up for grabs, but they did include a sample of 1,000 notable accounts, including private information of Krebs, AOC, Kevin O'Leary, Donald Trump Jr. I don't know who Vitalik Buterin is, but
he invented Ethereum.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Well, see, you're a bigger nerd than me. Anyway, and a bunch of other ones. And although it hasn't been confirmed, so a couple things. I mean, Twitter is refusing to engage with even confirming that this was a thing. They are annotating tweets about this, and whatever. Like, I'm done with Twitter. You're done with Twitter. It has fallen, but the belief / speculation is that the data is likely to have come from an API vulnerability that allowed a threat actor to query an email or phone number and get a Twitter profile.
Right.
And so if you can do that, then you can enumerate phone numbers.
Yep.
and then get the profile and basically, do a reverse lookup. You don't actually have to know that the phone number mattered to go scrape, 10 million phone numbers and see what you find.
Yeah.
So the final point about this is, quote is, "This is extremely similar to the Facebook 533 million database that was originally reported about in 2021 and resulted in a $275 million fine to Meta."
Ouch.
So I suspect there will be a follow-up about this at some point. But Twitter's, I don't know. Twitter's... Oh, but the net of it, though, is if your account to Twitter still exists and you used your phone number as your second form of authentication, you should go change that. You should change to a
one-time pass
security. One-time password.
Yeah,
and not your phone number. So there you go. Do that.
I'm quietly hoping things work out for Twitter, but I'm not holding my breath.
I'm not dancing on their grave. Like I hope. I certainly would like for things to have and to work out differently, but I would say my confidence and hope level are both very, very low.
Yeah.
So,
we'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah.
MySpace is still around.
Exactly. Like most people don't care about the things that I care about.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly.
But that's okay. Other people get to be other people. So there you go.
All right.
Okay. My second one, speaking of bad people behaving badly. So this was a confirmation of TikTok using information that supposedly is private and not available to internal TikTok employees to trace journalists.
Of course.
And specifically to use the IP addresses of journalists who were using TikTok to see if their locations ever coincided with the IP addresses of other ByteDance employees, to see if they could figure out who was leaking info from ByteDance to these journalists. So, basically the exact data that the company has testified to Congress that they were not doing, and the exact activities that they said were not possible. And it was being done by their chief internal auditor. So the person who was supposed to investigate and enforce good behavior was evidently the leader of the audit or the what they call it, Project Raven.
Yeah.
But basically prioritizing the internal behavior research rather than the what you'd think the internal auditor would be responsible for, which is ensuring that they're actually following the law. So let's see. So that was John's ad hoc summary, but let me see if there's other stuff that because I pulled out a bunch of stuff here. So it did say. So let's see. ByteDance tracked multiple Forbes journalists as part of this covert surveillance campaign, which was designed to unearth the source of leaks inside the company following a drumbeat of stories exposing the company's ongoing links to China. As a result of the investigation into the surveillance tactics, ByteDance fired Chris Lepetak, its chief internal auditor who led the team responsible for them. The China-based executive Song Yi, who Lepetak reported to and who reports directly to ByteDance CEO Rubo Liang, resigned. The quote is, it is standard practice for companies to have an internal audit group authorized to investigate code of conduct violations. However, in this case, individuals misused their authority to obtain access to TikTok user data. Let's see. The investigation, internally known as Project Raven, began this summer after BuzzFeed News published a story revealing that China-based ByteDance employees had repeatedly accessed U.S. user data based on more than 80 hours of audio recordings of internal TikTok meetings. After this story was published, TikTok spokesperson Hillary McQuaid said, quote, the conduct of certain individuals who are no longer employed at ByteDance was an egregious misuse of their authority to obtain access to user data. This misbehavior is unacceptable and not in line with our efforts across TikTok to earn the trust of our users.
What else is she going to say?
And you know, there was somewhere, I didn't pull it out, but they fired a couple other people too. You know, definitely, you know, some reaction, but let's see. This new development reinforces serious concerns that the social media platform has permitted TikTok engineers and executives in the People's Republic of China to repeatedly access private data of U.S. users, despite repeated claims to lawmakers and users that this data was protected, Senator Mark Warner told Forbes. The DOJ has been promising for over a year that they are looking into ways to protect U.S. user data from ByteDance and the CCP. It's time to come forward with that solution, or Congress could soon be forced to step in. So, could be interesting. Then the final quote that I pulled out was from Brendan Carr, an FCC commissioner, who said, at the precise moment when TikTok is trying to convince U.S. officials that it can be trusted, when it has every incentive to ensure the security of user data, its Beijing-based parent company abused its systems to obtain data on reporters that are covering TikTok. This should be the final nail in the coffin for the idea that U.S. officials can trust TikTok.
Yep.
So,
we'll see where TikTok ends up.
I predict TikTok is still on the upswing versus the downswing. So
yeah.
Although I have yet to install said app, I predict that it is not going to go away quietly into this dark night.
Yeah, I had it installed for a while because I have children who use it. And so I always need to be their friend and see what they're doing. And just a couple weeks ago when I was doing my digital spring cleaning, I got rid of TikTok as well.
Digital spring cleaning?
Yeah. Or winter cleaning,
That's
whatever
a concept.
It is. Yeah.
You would hate to look at the page 12 or 13 on my phone.
I have 2 pages on my phone. I've got the home page, and then I have all the rest of the apps. I got tons of apps installed.
You're a better nerd, and you're a better person.
No. I have tons of apps that are installed. I just don't put them on pages. They're just in the library now. I have the ones I use the most on the front page, and everything else I have to search for. Which means I have to remember it is there.
Oh, I search. Anyway.
All right. How about something fun tonight? I definitely need something fun. All right. So my something fun is great for a podcast. It's very visual. So I found a GitHub website which has pictures of various things. Do you want to know what the file format is for a JPEG or a tagged image file format or PNGs? It gives you the signature, the headers. They're kind of in handwritten style and visual color. And so it'll tell you, here's what the header is. Here's what the information about the header is. Here's where all the data goes. Here's how it defines everything. Here's what the end of the file should look like for all sorts of different kinds of files. And they are print them out and put them on your wall poster quality things that this person,
these are so cool,
just has over time just slowly been, doing. And you can order prints directly from them. You can check their Patreon. If you want to, donate some money for them. And I'm looking through these going, wow, I think these would be fun to have in my nerd office on the wall.
I could see this.
So, anyways, these are a lot of fun.
That's my totally something fun. See this. Ooh, PE 101.
Including the WAD format as used in Doom. So you can see how the Doom packets are created and passed around. And anyways.
I don't know. I'm looking at the dissecting a portable executable format.
Yeah. It's got opcode tables. It's all good fun. All good fun.
Look at that. The DOS header, the PE header shows some modern binary.
Mm-hmm.
Optional header, executable information, data directories.
Good stuff, huh?
Yes.
So, there you go. That's my something fun. They're well done. Like I said, poster quality, stick them up in the office. Quality little posters. They're a lot of fun just for giggles.
I love it. I love it. That is super awesome.
So,
okay, that is super awesome. Yeah, you should totally print out some of those as posters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. My something fun was a MIT research on paper-thin solar cells. So this is, obviously not commercialized yet, but interesting. So this is a team that they exhibited solar cells that were so lightweight that they could be on the side of like a soap bubble a couple of years ago. But it's a team that are working on super lightweight solar cells, and they have they basically did a process to create the solar cell that's similar to screen printing. So they sort of screen print a solar cell, and then it can be removed from the bottom medium, but then it's like super fragile. So then they need something to sort of back it, and they chose a super lightweight fabric. They can do it on they could put it on many things, but to try and keep things continued to be light, they put it on a super lightweight fabric. The notion is that, if you could basically have a lightweight solar cell on a lightweight fabric, you could put it on drone wings, you could put it on sails for sailboats, right. You could put it on tents, like for, Red Cross goes to a place out in the, for a disaster or something like that, disaster response, you could have super lightweight, easy to unroll, power localized. Anyway, so it's pretty awesome. They said that. Let's see. What did it say? While it might be simpler to just print the solar cells directly on the fabric, this limits the selection of possible fabrics or other receiving surfaces. So our approach decouples the solar cell manufacturing from its final integration. So that was kind of intentionally kept separate, so they could do it on firmer substances if need be,
right,
or something else. When they tested the device, the MIT researchers found they could generate 730 watts of power per kilogram when freestanding, and about 370 watts per kilogram if deployed on the high-strength Dyneema fabric, which is about 18 times more power per kilogram than conventional solar cells.
Wow.
It says a typical solar rooftop installation in Massachusetts is about 8,000 watts. To generate that same amount of power, our fabric photovoltaics would add about 20 kilograms or 44 pounds to the roof of a house. Not problematic from a weight perspective,
No.
at least. It says encasing the, but they are, there was a comment in here, I didn't pull it out, about them not being essentially weatherproof. But they don't want to encase them in solar, in glass, because that kind of kills the benefit that they're trying to achieve. So their next thing is they're working on what they called ultra-thin packaging solutions that would only fractionally increase the weight of the present ultralight devices. So anyway, interesting research, interesting findings, interesting possibilities going forward. So I thought that was cool.
That would be cool. I would love to have solar somewhere so I could be like John. So
I would love to have two pages of apps on my phone so I could be like Eric.
And with that.
No, it's good. It's all good. Well, I kind of wish I had batteries at this point, but
yeah,
the batteries would have died very, very early.
Yeah.
This is exactly what, sorry, I'm back to my woes. This is exactly why we wanted the propane and the actual generator, because hypothetically it could run for a couple weeks. It would cost an arm and a leg in propane, but
right.
Anyway, we'll work on it.
Sorry, dude.
Hopefully he's just running really late. Maybe he works late tonight or first thing in the morning. I don't know.
Fingers crossed for you.
My fingers are crossed too.
Cross my toes too.
All right, my friend.
All right, dude. You have a good night.
Have a good night.
And Happy New Year. We'll see you next year.
That's right. I will talk to you in 2023.
Yeah. We'll see you.
All right. Talk to you later, Eric.
Bye.
Bye.